Okay, so Jeanette, welcome to Tadivari, the smaller version of Karlovy International Festival. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Where are you right now? I see the books behind you.
I'm in my office that I share with my husband. So there's a lot of architectural books behind me, which are his. But yeah.
What are the ES letters behind you?
Those are just old signs, I think. Yeah, old. I think actually they're from a German cinema, old German cinema, I think. Yeah.
Okay, nice atmosphere.
Thank you, thank you.
So, like, can you maybe describe me, how did you came up with the story? Because it was quite strong, like losing mother, the necessity to deal with almost like strange people, you know, people you don't know.
Well, the story came up. It was after the screenwriter and I, Ingeborg Topsø, had worked together previously. Just after we had both finished film school, we did a short film together called Nylon that also dealt with family dynamics, dysfunctional family dynamics, but it was much more rooted in the classical drama. And when we were editing the film, we were talking about new ideas. We were talking about ideas for my first feature. And the idea for Wildland came about, trying to focus on the family still, which I'm generally very interested in. I'm very interested in exploring the family as an institution that shape us, all of us. It's a community we're born into. It's important. So I knew that I wanted to explore the family. It was just a matter of how. And the idea of trying to use the mafia genre just kind of rose organically. I think it just kind of raised the stakes, making all the dynamics, the family dynamics, even more extreme. So that's how it came about.
Yeah, you're talking about the mafia genre, and I get this business and family parts. I don't know, not colliding, but somehow like living next to each other. And of course, like in this mafia genre, there's always a big like sorry, I forgot the word. Whatever, like they care about family a lot. So I get that. Mm-hmm. The interesting thing was like when I read the synopsis, I was like, okay, there's gonna be some criminal drama, maybe even, because I was expecting this some criminal activities. It was quite subtle, actually. Like we had some insight, like what they are doing and the violence and so on. But it wasn't the main part of the story, I guess.
No. I was never interested in the violence per se, the classical display of violence. It was much more of an exploration of saying, can we make the violence exist within the home, within the mundane? Like, how does violence exist around the breakfast table, in the family, within the characters, instead of it having this car chase or big explosions or something like that you would be more, or that very physical violence is not something that I was interested in exploring. I think trying to create tension in the places where you would think you would be the most comfortable. So in the house, with the family, with the people who love you the most, that is what is the most scary thing in this story, in this family, in this film. And that was something we wanted to try out and see how if we could make that work. I mean, the film is about social heritage and takes that very, very seriously. So basically saying that what you're born into, what you pass on, matters, and it matters a lot. and to break free from the path that has been laid out in front of you is going to be very, very difficult. And we wanted to take that and make that a claustrophobic feeling into the film. So it's a different way of using tension or violence, as you say, that you might expect for a more classical genre film. Yeah, we kind of took our own way into it, I guess you could say.
Yeah. When we were talking about this let's say, criminality or criminal doing, like what the family does and how do they communicate about that, as you talked about at the breakfast and whatever. I guess it also like was the Ida as a teenager, as somebody who is vulnerable by itself, like losing her mother and whatever. She was really vulnerable in the meaning like that she was living with them, that she was eating with them, and they were talking about it like the casual things. And she became like corrupted, maybe a little bit like easier because she was like open, or maybe that that they took it like they were talking about that natural, in that natural manner, that she kind of like accepted that's the reality.
Yes, I think, I mean, Ida is not a blank canvas when she moves into the family. Obviously, she's grown up with a mother who something has been up. I mean, she does come into this family with a history of her own. She's not a naive, innocent young girl, I think you could say. I think she comes in with a lot of baggage and a way of understanding the world where she doesn't run away from the family. I mean, for her, this family is a safe place, even though they're, at least she thinks so in the beginning, even though she knows that they're doing some sort of criminal activity. I think the way we enter the family with her is basically what we want to say with the film is, what are you willing to sacrifice to belong? So Ida needs to belong. This is the place she wants to be. This family is caring, they're attentive, they're giving her a place to stay, food to eat, a lot of love and caress. So what are you willing to sacrifice to get that? That's basically what we're trying to discuss. And of course, I mean, she's a 17-year-old character, and to be able to stand alone, to break free from those things, to say, okay, I'm not going to follow the community, I'm not going to follow everything that I know here, I'm going to stand in my own, is obviously going to be much more difficult when you're 17 compared to when you're an adult, right? So it is very difficult for her to break free from the family, most definitely.
Why don't you talk about her mother like more in the movie? I was quite surprised. She's at the very beginning, and of course, like you can see this struggle. Let's say how Ida is trying to to live on. Trying to live in the situation she is. But I thought, at least I saw some kind of like tension between her and her mother. Like they were arguing at the moment when they had the car accident. I was maybe kind of expecting a little bit more of the mother aspect in the whole story.
I think we wanted to make storytelling that exists a lot of the time in details. So basically what you're getting out from the scenes you see with the mother, the flashbacks and the memories or whatever you say, is already enough for you to generate some sort of information about Ida. And I think it's a way of saying that we trust the audience to leave them with actually very little, but for them to understand enough. I mean, it's always, when you're doing storytelling, I think the most fun place to be is when you have that right balance of saying everything with actually saying very, very little. I think that was just something we wanted to try out. And most times I do think it's working quite well. Obviously, there's some things you don't get, or you need to see the film a couple of times to read into it. But I think it creates something.
Yeah, sorry, I'm always using the expression I expected something. That's stupid to say, but yeah, it was kind of felt like that. As you were describing this storytelling in details, that's the reason why the brothers are not, they're physically very different, and even emotionally, of course. So that's the reason, like to be them, like for the first look, you can say that they are very different.
Yes, I think you create a lot of backstory by using, I mean, these three brothers definitely look like they have different fathers. I think that's a way we use that to talk about Bodil as a character, trying to understand what their home was when these boys grew up, how she as the matriarch controlled the family. There probably hasn't been anyone she has shared this household with other than these boys. There has just been men coming in and out that she used for her benefit. And I think that was a way of actually saying that without actually saying that, but just by having these men look very, very different. And I mean, it's something that you can choose to focus on. It's also something that you can choose not to, and you're still going to get hopefully still going to get the mood of the film and the thematics of the film nevertheless.
Yeah, of course. Like, I really enjoyed it actually, because it was kind of like very easy to get the image of the family, even the hierarchy. Who's the oldest one? Who's is Mats, the dark hair, like boxing. He's just the muscle basically. And on the other hand, his mama's boy. It was it was very clear, and it was in a way very comforting to know who they are actually.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Why have you focused on David so much? Like, out of the three brothers, the story of David and his relationship with Anna and the baby at the end and so on, his story was most developed, I would say.
Well, yes. I mean, also because he's connected to Anna, who is our, I guess you can say, moral compass of the story. Anna is David's girlfriend, and she is the one who sees the family for what the family really is. That's why Bodil doesn't like her in the beginning. But David is the child that's been trying to get away. I think we always thought about David as someone who, under different circumstances, would have done amazingly. I think the more she's trying to hold him back, the more she's trying to push social heritage down his throat, the more he suffers. It's also, I mean, the dynamic between David and his mother is also, it was really interesting to explore, because I think she is basically doing everything she can to the best of her knowledge. She's trying to help him. I really like the idea, I think it's very interesting that human beings have all of these blind angles. I mean, we all do. I do, you do, everyone else do. And I think even we can try as much as we want to, we're still going to have these blind angles. And Bodil is just a manifest of that. I mean, she does everything she does from a pure heart. She's not evil. She's not an evil character. She's trying to do her best for her kids. And that's what we're trying to say with the relationship she has with David. She's trying to do her best, but she fails, obviously.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your insight.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, it was, hope people have enjoyed the film. We're going to enjoy the film and go to the cinema, and yeah, it's wonderful.
And we hope to have you here, like with the next movie. Or we're gonna screen
with like in real person and not just online. Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Take care.
Well, thank you.
Good luck with
you too.
Next work. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.